Hello nippies, welcome back, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. I'm just an artist, just a nipple. One, multiple, not sure, but welcome. We draw here. Today we are going to be working on this, which by the way, we did not have a video last week because it was my birthday, and by the time you are seeing this, it will have already passed, but at the moment that I'm filming this is actually the day after, and I created this yesterday on my birthday on stream, and I want to say thank you to everyone that came, hung out. We had some drinks on stream. It was just an all-around really fun time, and I wouldn't have spent my birthday any other way. Thank you guys so much for making it such a special day, and I got to draw, I got to drink, listen to music, hang out. You guys were there, so it was all around perfect. What we are going to be working on today is this postcard here, which is a Patreon postcard. For those of you that don't know, I do have a Patreon for my comic OFFcell 18+ comics, so be careful. It's on Tapastic Webtoons and the website, which is under construction currently, so it's still being edited, but it's uncensored there. And this is my character Pim. I have a tier over on Patreon that is a postcard tier, and every month you get to customize one of these of your favorite character or whichever character you choose. And I actually have two Patreons here for this month, so this is one of them. I wanted to do both on stream, but this one took a lot longer than I anticipated, so you guys will be seeing another video in a similar type of style, and it's because it's supposed to be the accompanying one to this, and it will also be a November postcard but of a different character. And so this is what we're going to be working on today. If you want to see how this is made, stay tuned. I'm going to go over the materials. You guys are going to see the process video from the Twitch VOD, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get started. All right, so before we start, let's go ahead and go over the materials. I'm gonna start doing my traditional materials here every time that we have a traditional video so you guys can see what I use. And I do have an Amazon shop link down in the description below if you wanna see the exact place that I got them. 99% of the time, I buy all of my stuff on Amazon, so I can always give you the exact link of these. And if you don't wanna watch the material rundown, you can go ahead and skip to this time in the video and just watch the piece of art being made. If not, you can keep watching and see what I use, see the breakdown, and let's get started. So the first thing I always love to use, I always tell you guys about these, are my Pentel graph gears. These are my ride or die. I absolutely love these. I've been using these for years, and I have several of these so that I have them on the go and in my traditional workspace. I use the 0.3 and the 0.7 because my 0.7 is where I put my other ride or die, my colored lead, pilot colored lead. I have a listing of this in all of these are in the Amazon shop link down below, but you guys know I've been using these forever as my under sketches, and I love using them in 0.7 because doing thicker lined under sketches just prevents me from getting so stressed out. And then I go in with my thinner 0.3 pencil. So here I put my regular pencil lead. I should probably bring that out. I like using 2B, trying to keep the lead slightly dark. I like the softer, darker leads because I love using my blending sticks when it comes to traditional graphite work. So these two, honestly, tried and true. Then we used the light box, which is a little bit big to put here, but it's not mine, it's my roommate's. She doesn't use this very much, so I don't know exactly where she got it, but I do have one of these posted in the Amazon shop link. It's the same brand. I don't know exactly what size this is, but this looks like a very standard 8.5 by 11 type size, and I honestly absolutely love it. I use it for all my traditional pieces. I go ahead and sketch all my thumbnails, and I trace the postcards, and it's so easy to just transfer over without messing up the final illustration paper. Maybe one day I'll get my own and also try to invest in one of the cheaper models, but this one is just really amazing. Then once we have that, I go ahead and use my inking supplies here, my Micron 005. You guys know I love my super thin inking materials. I love doing very detailed line work with these. It's supremely high quality. I don't think I've ever swapped over from the Micron 005. I think they do have a 003. Somebody mentioned that. I might have to look that up because the thinner, the better, at least for me. Then we have this marker is extremely old, this pen rather. So that's why it's got a lot of wear and tear on the outside, but it still works perfectly. And it's the Prismacolor 03 in like this nice, really tealish, greenish color. And I thought it was perfect for this specific piece so that it would match the tape that is in the background of our illustration. So that's what I use for that. Then we go in with our marker selection, which are these three. Now, these two you guys have seen from my Arteza video, which Arteza was kind enough to send me these so I could do a review on them, and I've been using them pretty religiously. They're just markers, you know, and there's always a use for everything, and so I don't think that I ever stick to one brand specifically. I just find lots of different uses for every kind of marker, so I gravitated towards these two, Twee marker and the Everblend art marker by Arteza. If you guys want to go ahead and see that video, the upper right hand corner, there will be a link to that video if you guys want to see me use them and how they work. And then these are the Touch Nude. These are, oh my goodness, these I would not really recommend unless you're on a super budget and you know exactly what you're getting. That you are going to be getting what you paid for. These are going to be, I think I paid like $30 for a whole batch of like 40 markers or something because I needed all sorts of grayscale. So they have neutrals, warms, and cools from what I remember. And I was like, oh, I really need like cheap markers, really fast and all sorts of temperatures in grayscale, and I need them for Inktober. So I just like took the plunge and bought these. They're not very good. I still use them. Some came dry. Like honestly, I got what I paid for. I paid like less than $1 a marker, but I still use them. They bleed pretty easily. Oh my goodness, they are a roller coaster. But like I said, there's always a use for all sorts of markers, and so I just keep them there on the side. And whenever I need my warms, because I do not have warms in any other brand, I go ahead and pick these up, and I try to work around their flaws and the price point, you know, the quality for the price point that I'm getting. So these are the three brands that I'm working with in this video. Then the erasers that I use are these two. We've got the Mono, the mini eraser, the Tombow Mono. I absolutely love this. You guys know I love to work in very small proportions and details, and this just really helps me to erase a very specific area of the piece without rubbing everything else around it. And so this has been my one tried and true miniature detail eraser. I have two of these, one on the go, one at my traditional workstation, ride or die right here. And then netted erasers, netted? Not sure how you say that, but this one was actually gifted to me, this specific one, from my Amazon wish list recently. So thank you to whoever got me these. I really do appreciate it. My old one was already very worn and used, and I was in need of a new one. These are just really amazing. You'll see me pat my sketches light. So it just helps because a lot of the times, you know, when you're working digitally, you want to lower the opacity of your sketches, work with the line art on top, and this is just so perfect because I have two sketches. I have my under sketch and my pencil sketch. By the time I get to the line art, I want to be able to see what I'm actually line arting, and so this has become my go-to for lowering the opacity in real life, so to speak. So just patting my paper with this has been so clutch. So netted erasers, Faber-Castell, those are erasers of choice for this video. For highlights, I used, again, Arteza, my titanium white gouache. Same video, I use it in the video as well if you guys want to check that out. And then my white charcoal pencil. Guys, white highlights are like one of my favorite things to do in drawings, and I have so many white highlighting markers. I have my Faber-Castell marker as well, but these are the ones I used for this video. It just adds such a beautiful accent to your drawing, especially if you're working on toned paper. White looks so beautiful in contrast. It just adds such a beautiful touch to your sketches, and you want them to look slightly more finished. This is the brush that I used. I'm not going to go too into detail. This is like one of my favorite brushes. I don't know much about it. I don't know if it's synthetic. I should probably Google it, but I don't know anything about this brush other than I use it a lot, and it's the one I use in this video. Then we have our tape. So all of the tape I own, I have gotten on Amazon. I am actually going to put that in the Amazon supply list as well. So if you guys see some tape that you like that I have ever used, I will be putting it in that list so that you guys can also purchase it as well. I just absolutely love these. If you guys watch the speed paint video after this, you guys will see I have like 2 boxes, and then I have several other smaller boxes in my inventory. I absolutely love tape. It just adds such a beautiful accent to your drawings, and so these are the ones I will be using for this video. Then the parchment paper, pretty sure I got this one on Amazon. So this is just regular parchment paper. Now you'll see that it's in a strange proportion. So what I did was I bought a very large size of these parchment papers, and what I do is I use a paper cutter to get all the straight edges cut, and then I will use this. This is called the Kadomaru Pro. This is new. Somebody bought this off my Amazon wishlist recently, so thank you so much for this. My other ones were already broken. Actually, maybe I could show you those so you guys can see what I normally use. So I normally use these. I've been using these for quite some time now. One of these is also broken, like it just doesn't open. They're locked right now, but one of them is like gets stuck here. So I had this one on my wish list to replace these. It's a dear, honestly, it's amazing. You just put the corner in either side and it'll just round it off for you, and it's just gorgeous. I love this. And so I will normally buy colored paper, toned paper, because as I said, I just love how white highlights look on these, so I owned a lot of toned paper. And what I'll do is I'll just cut it to my desired size and then cut the corners. And a lot of people ask me, where do you get those postcards? Where do you get those postcards? Well, here is the secret. I just make them myself. So I just cut the sizes that I want and make my own little postcards and put art on them. I think this one was a bookmark that I made because I wanted to do some bookmark art here. So it's very convenient. It's really not about finding them pre-made. I sometimes just find really cool paper that I love, and there's always ways to shape it into something, into a template for some future art that you want to create. So this is pretty much it. So yeah, and then that is it for that. I guess last but not least, not really too interesting, but this is an X-Acto knife. It's what I use to cut the tape once we have it all settled on the paper and we're trying to mold it into the shape of our illustration. It's just really nice, very handy, very, very sharp, so be careful with that. I used to use this one. You guys might remember this one. It comes with its own like separate blades and stuff. It goes up pretty far and you can twist these off, and it comes with like extra blades for you to replace whenever they get dull, or you can sharpen them. I don't necessarily use this anymore. This one is so good. It's just so much sharper, a lot more stable. It feels more stable to me. So I have this one there because, you know, it's not necessarily broken and I could still use it for something, but this is definitely the one I gravitate towards now. So that is pretty much it for the supplies of this piece. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the material list, and let's get right into the drawing then. Finally getting into the drawing, guys. That took a lot longer than I wanted to, but here we are. So I tried to do a lot of it on stream. Unfortunately, this camera, I'm using the Logitech C920 here. I've had it for a long time. It's not as good as my phone camera, so you'll have to excuse the quality a little bit. But here you'll see me use the corner cutter, my parchment paper, and I started picking a size. I usually cut an extra one just in case I do make a mistake, and then I have some extra scrap papers in order to test my materials before I put them straight onto the paper. So here I'm testing out the tape just to see what it looks like, just because I've used them before and I know how semi-transparent they can be, so I wanted to put them on the paper. I could not find those 2 rolls on Amazon. Apparently they do not sell it anymore, unfortunately, but I did find the other smaller ones, so those will be in my Amazon shop list. Sorry about that, guys. Here you see me take a reference picture, which is really, really fun. You guys are laughing at me as I was posing, but I actually really like how those pictures came out. If you guys want to check out my Twitter, I did post the actual picture on there. So we're going to be doing my character Pim here for my comic OFFcell. There's a Patreon tier where it's postcard, monthly custom postcards that'll be mailed to you of any character that you like. And so for this month, we actually have 2 Patreons at that tier. Shout out to GB, shout out to Snark. And we'll only be doing the Pim one for this one. We'll be sketching out the Saskia one, but I won't be doing it on stream because this stream was on my birthday. So it took a really long time to do the Pim one, and I decided that I wanted to go out with my roommate anime and have some dinner and just chill a little bit. And so I'll be doing the Saskia one. You guys will see that as a video eventually with the blue tape and all the other fun stuff. So that one will be coming soon. We had this idea where I wanted him to eat like an apple, because if you look closely at the white and red tape, there are like these red fruits, which I'm just calling apples for ease, and these leaves, like just green leaf outlines. And so I thought it would be really fun to make him just like eat one in the foreground while the tape was in the background. So that's kind of what we went with. And then for her, there's like these little cherries and stuff with leaves and stems. I didn't really get past this stage here. We'll see how much of it I change. Usually at this stage, a lot changes. We pull out our light box, and I'm now transferring our sketch to the postcard. I usually want to go in with the colored pencil, and I want to get the forms. I want to make sure that the energy is semi-conserved. I get a little bit scared. A lot of the times I'll like the original sketch, but won't like the energy that I've traced. I tried to keep my original sketch next to me just so that I can make sure I'm either keeping the same energy or improving the energy. So we want to make sure we don't lose it. I start going in with the thinner lines now with our pencil, making sure that we've got all the anatomy correct, all the posing, all the very specific lines. You guys know that in my traditional art, I am a sucker for really thin lines, lots of detail, lots of movement and like little nuances here and there. And so I really try to capture that and not skimp out. Here you see me bring out my Faber-Castell netted eraser, which was a gift from you guys, by the way. Thank you so much. We're doing this here in order to really brighten up that paper, throw the pencil into the background, and make sure that we can see what we're line arting. I really wanted to start with the apple here because I wanted to see how bright that green was. I wanted to use that in order to really make it look like the tape. And that green was just so perfect because it was like this perfect kind of blue green, but mostly green. It was just so perfect because it was just enough different from the tape that it stood out in the foreground, as you guys will probably hopefully see later. Here we go in with our usual 0.005 micron. Here you see me kind of just making sure that all the anatomy is good, flipping it over, really trying to hone in on the thickness, the different line thicknesses. Trying not to go too much on the outline outside just because we're probably gonna have to go over it after the tape anyway, so I don't outline it. And I don't put details on the shirt, of course, because we'll be putting tape there and you won't be able to see the details. I start laying down the tape, getting thicker pieces. You can kind of see through it, but not enough. I think it was really easy to do for the hair, and so I don't really use a light box to do the tape here. This one I got kind of lucky. It was pretty transparent. If the paper was white, I think it would be totally doable, but because the paper is already tinted, I did run into some difficulties later, which I had to use the light box for. You see me here struggling with my claws and all the little hair strands that I decided to do. Immediate regret, but honestly, it was just so worth it. So I brought a tweezer to help me out. Definitely helped in really getting those nooks and crannies where all the tape was stuck. I penciled out the edges of where the rest of the tape will go, and then I just decided there were way too many details to do with the naked eye and not a light box. So pull out the light box, and here we are cutting in all those edges, small areas. I think my favorite part is when you do like the whole background and you just cut out the whole main shape and just turn off the light box and see it in normal light for the first time. That to me is so satisfying. So you see when I finish here and I like finally pull off the final like little piece of tape from the hand, the apple, the leaves, I'm just so excited to finally see what it looks like, especially if it's a lot of cutting, a lot of like detailed corner cutting. You see it here. I'm just so excited. I get new ideas. I usually have a pretty good idea of what I'm gonna do. When you see it come together, I always get new ideas. You see me here use my phone as a light box because the light wasn't strong enough to go through the copper tape. My phone light, putting it super direct onto the paper, definitely worked. I go back now to really thicken the lines that the tape kind of covered, and this is what I meant by I didn't go over the outline outside of Pim because we're gonna have to do it now anyway, and here you see me kind of go over those edges in the black as well, just making sure that he's really just not blending into the background, trying to just make it look finished. Here you see me try all these different kinds of reds. I really wanted to get the right shade of red because I didn't want it to match the shirt. I didn't want it to match the background. I still wanted it to pop. So I did find the perfect red. I absolutely love the red that we ended up going with. It was just so bright and but still looked like the background apples, which was really exciting. Here you see me come out with the Arteza gouache. Normally I have a Faber-Castell marker to do these, but lately I've been kind of using gouache and I really love it because it's just so intense. It dries really nicely, very easy to use, and sometimes my Faber-Castell white marker just isn't as intense or easy to control since the tip is not flexible like a paintbrush. I start adding white to the shirt here because my point was to balance out the shirt white tape with the white on the leaves and the white on the bandage. But what ended up happening was that the whites from the bandage and the leaves were way too white for the tape, and because we were already kind of in too deep, I decided to improvise and just put a little bit, a splash of white onto the shirt. It ended up really balancing out the picture nicely. Here's where it all gets dicey. So on stream I was like, guys, it still doesn't feel finished, and I decided to take a leap and do a black round border right next to the red. And honestly, I'm so glad that I took that leap because it's what made it feel finished. I went back in with the red, touched it up, made it more intense, just totally in love. We finished it up with some highlights, some cheek blushes, and just complete. I'm so excited to finish this, and I can't wait to mail it out to GB. So hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought down in the comments below. We have so many other postcard videos that you guys can check out as well on the channel, and the other one that will couple this one will be coming soon, and that is pretty much it. Yay! Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below. If you liked it, didn't like it, what you thought of it. Leave a like, subscribe, join the Nipple family, become a nipple today. And go ahead, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, if you guys want to keep up with my art. My comic has an Instagram and a Twitter as well, if you guys want to check that out. Follow me on Patreon, or check out my Patreon content if you want some exclusive behind-the-scenes comic content, or if you just want to support my art in general. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to those of you that have already pledged and supported me. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you guys next video. Bye guys.